Banished by her stepmother, the alien girl, begged a human for a home. The rain hammered against the transparent aluminum windows of Station Kepler 442b, each droplet carrying the acidic bite of an alien atmosphere. James Martinez pressed his palm against the cool surface, watching the purple lightning fork across the amber sky. 3 years he'd been stationed on this forsaken rock, mining rare minerals for the Terran Confederation. 3 years of isolation, broken only by monthly supply, drops and the occasional message from Earth. That's when he saw her, a small figure huddled beneath the loading dock's overhang, barely visible through the storm. James squinted, his enhanced vision implants adjusting to the dim light. The figure was humanoid but wrong somehow. Too tall, too thin, with skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. An alien child. James grabbed his environment suit and sealed helmet, stepping into the airlock. The atmospheric processors hummed around him as he cycled through to the exterior. The wind hit him like a physical blow, nearly knocking him off balance as he approached the cowering figure. She looked up at him with eyes like twin moons, pale, luminous, and filled with terror. Her skin was the color of starlight, translucent and delicate, with fine scales that caught the station's emergency lights. Definitely Zephyrian, though James had never seen one so young. "Please," she whispered in accented standard, her voice barely audible above the storm. "Please don't send me away." James knelt beside her, noting the crude sack of belongings clutched in her 6-fingered hands. "What are you doing here, kid? Where are your parents?" The child's lower lip trembled, revealing teeth like pearls. "Stepmother. She said I was cursed. Said I brought bad luck to the house. She left me at the transport hub and told me never to come back." James felt something cold settle in his stomach that had nothing to do with the alien weather. "How long have you been out here?" 2 days, maybe 3. The other ships, they all left when they saw me. Humans don't like Zephyrians." She looked up at him with those impossible eyes. "But you stopped. You came out here." James made a decision that would change both their lives. "Come on, let's get you inside before you freeze to death." The child followed him into the station, her scaled feet silent on the metal flooring. In the warm light of the habitat module, James could see she was even younger than he'd thought, maybe 10 or 11 in Terran years. Her clothes were little more than rags, and she carried herself with the careful posture of someone who'd learned not to take up too much space. "What's your name?" James asked, programming the food synthesizer for something mild and nutritious. "Mino," she said quietly, sitting on the edge of the chair as if ready to flee. "I'm sorry for bothering you, Mr. Human. I can leave if you want." "James," he corrected, placing a warm meal in front of her. "And you're not bothering anyone. Eat." Mino stared at the food as if it might disappear, then began eating with desperate hunger. James watched her, something fierce and protective awakening in his chest. He'd grown up in the foster system on Earth. He recognized the signs of abandonment, the careful way she held herself ready for rejection. "Where will you go now?" he asked gently. Mino's eating slowed, then stopped. "I don't know. The other settlements won't take me. They say Zephyrians are bad luck, that we steal children and curse harvests." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Maybe it's true. Maybe that's why my stepmother—" "Stop." James's voice was firm. "None of that is true, Mino. What your stepmother did was wrong. Adults are supposed to protect children, not abandon them." Tears like liquid silver began to fall from Mino's eyes. "But I have nowhere to go. No one wants me." James looked at this broken child, this alien girl who'd been cast out by her own people, and saw himself at 10 years old, bouncing between foster homes, always temporary, never wanted. The regulations were clear. Unauthorized aliens on Confederation mining stations were to be reported immediately. But James had spent his whole life following rules that protected everyone except the people who needed protecting most. "What if," he said slowly, "what if you stayed here? With me?" Mino's head snapped up, hope and disbelief warring in her expression. You would want me? The work's dangerous, and it's lonely out here. Could use someone to help with the smaller, maintenance tasks, someone with quick reflexes and small hands. James smiled. Pays not much, but there's food, shelter, and all the holovids you can watch. I would work very hard, Mino said eagerly, then caught herself. Her voice became small, vulnerable. Please, be my dad? I'll behave, I promise. I won't cause trouble or eat too much or take up space. I can sleep in the storage bay and I'll do whatever you say and… Hey. James knelt in front of her chair, meeting her eyes. You don't have to earn the right to exist, Mino. You're a kid. You're supposed to take up space and eat and sometimes cause trouble. That's what kids do. But I'm not human. So, you're smart, you're brave, and you survived 2 days in that storm. That's more human than half the people I know. James stood, extending his hand. What do you say, partner? Want to help me mine some crystals and probably break a few dozen regulations? Mino looked at his outstretched hand for a long moment, then placed her 6-fingered hand in his 5-fingered one. Yes, Dad. I'd like that very much. As the storm raged outside, James Martinez, former foster kid, mining engineer, and now father to an alien child, began planning how to forge identity documents and create a new life for them both. The Confederation could have its regulations. Humanity's greatest strength had never been following rules. It was knowing when to break them for something more important. For family. 3 months later, when the inspectors came, they found James Martinez living alone on Station Kepler 442b. His productivity reports exemplary. They never thought to look for the new maintenance droid that helped him with the smaller tasks. A droid that was coincidentally the exact size of a Zephyrian child and had been programmed with an unusually sophisticated personality matrix. After all, who would suspect that a human would risk everything for an alien kid nobody wanted? That was their first mistake about humanity.